Hello, Stefan.
Hi, Ali. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And Ahmed, hello.
Hello,
How are you?
fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Um, I'm using some different headphones tonight because the microphone is supposed to work better than my other one, which didn't really work. Um, so let me know if it sounds better than it used to.
I can hear you clearly.
It's clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. Is it, Ali, is it different than normal?
I think not more difference between them. It's
Okay.
okay. Okay, yeah, good.
Okay, well, good to know. Thank you. And hello, Salvatore.
Hi, Stephanie. How
How
are
are you?
you? I'm fine, thank you.
I'm fine as well.
Nice to
Um,
see you again, teacher.
Good to see you as well. I just got back from Italy today.
Yeah,
Mm.
we know.
Really?
Yes.
Where are you been, teacher?
I went to Milan and Florence.
Ah,
Um,
good. I live in
yeah.
Milan, teacher.
Oh, cool. I was there last night and for a couple hours on Friday, um, but just a weekend visit. So.
Okay. Did you enjoy it?
I did very much. I had been to Italy one other time in 2006, so it was good to go again, almost 10 years later. Um, but still a beautiful place, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And hello, Paul.
Hello, good evening. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing fine, thanks.
Good. And
Ready for the lesson.
great. Good. We'll get started pretty quick here. Where are you from?
I'm from Russia, and on my picture on the background, I have a Russian flag.
Oh, okay.
Just for the reference,
Okay.
I did it on purpose to from Russia, obviously.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
Good. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you and glad you're here.
me too, thanks.
And Firas, hello.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. And where are you from?
I'm from Iraq.
Iraq. Wonderful. Welcome to class. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you, teacher.
And Vladimir, hello. Vladimir? Okay. Sure he'll come on soon. Oh, no mic. Okay, I see. Well, hello. Welcome to class. All right. So this is a new class that I'm teaching for the first time, and the idea came out of another class that I teach. On Tuesday nights, I've been teaching a flash fiction class every Tuesday, where we read some very short fiction and we talk about it. And so this is along the same lines, except these stories are even shorter. These stories are only 100 words, which means we can read one of them quickly. We can go through the vocabulary and any language questions you have, and then we can talk about our interpretations of the stories, talk about the characters and the plot and the theme, and all of that. So it is mostly a reading class, but you'll get lots of opportunities to speak as well. And if you look in the Verbling chat, I've put a link of the website we'll use. I was fast tonight. So let's just start there. And of course, I'm always welcome to feedback and any questions you have along the way, please feel free to interrupt. And if you have any feedback after class, please send that my way since this is the first the first time I've done this class. So I'll definitely be looking for ways to make it better. All right, so any questions or comments before we begin?
No.
All right, let's go to the stories. I have not read these stories at all beforehand. The Tuesday flash fiction stories I always read before. These I have not read at all, so they'll be just as new to me as they are for you. And I suppose we will start with the very first one here, watermelon. All right, so you see it's very short. All right, so I'll read this, and then we'll talk about any vocabulary or language questions, and then we'll discuss it. Watermelon. It was the summer California was drying up and burning down, and we all talked about sparing water and sparing air. Lawns turned to hay, and cars remained grit-coated. Bob and I sat in our underwear on the wooden steps of our third floor city flat, hoping for a breeze, eating watermelon. It was the summer Bob told me he was going back to the woman he'd known before me. We were 63. He said it wasn't too late. Global warming had done it. We sat side by side, silent in the stagnant night. The watermelon was sweet and icy. All right, so any vocabulary questions or any questions on the text?
Yes, teacher. What is the lawns turn to hay?
Yes, hay. Let's just pull up an image here. Hay is what horses would eat. Really dry. Straw is another word for it. This is hay. So.
When grass and right.
Yep. So the grass in front of the houses, the lawns, became very, very dry, basically, like hay. Good question. Oh, and welcome, Anatoly and Alexander.
Hello, thank you very much.
Hi.
Hi. All right.
And Stephanie, is this introduction, there are, as I understood, there are two men, which one in one age, 63, and this is introduction background around them.
Yes? Yes, it's kind of talking. It's two people. One is a woman, and yeah, this is the story about them. So where they are that night in that summer.
Oh, it is not an introduction. It is all story.
Yes.
All
Yes. These are super micro stories, only 100 words long. So they're going to be somewhat strange, but if we come across some good ones, we'll notice character and plot and even theme coming up. So.
And author, does she woman?
Yes, the narrator is a woman. Yeah. So what's going on in this story? And that's a question for everyone. What is the conflict or the problem here?
I think the weather is very hot.
Yes.
Global warming.
Yeah. And so the setting is very hot Californian summer. Probably even warmer because of global warming. And what are the two characters doing? Or how would you describe the characters?
They are a good friend, teacher. because they talked about the summer in 63 maybe.
Mhm.
Mm.
They are 63 years old. Mhm.
Ah, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand now. And maybe they know each other for a long time,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
and they talked about what happened in that summer.
Yes, yeah, it seems like a reflection. The narrator is looking back to a summer, that summer where it was very hot. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Anyone else? What's going on with these characters?
Okay, I think they were a couple at the time.
And why do you think so?
Because the woman says that she suggests that that the man knows her, and she says before me, the woman he'd known before me. So I suppose at the time they were kind of a relationship.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely seems they must be very close. They're sitting in their underwear in a flat or an apartment that they have together. And yes, the narrator says he was going back to the woman he'd known before.
Okay, and the funny thing is, I get the impression that the global warming made the man to go back to another woman, according to this text.
Yeah, yeah, that part is interesting, right?
Yes, yes. So there's one thing, and she jumps. The author jumps to the other thing. It seems to me that the global warming is the reason for the man to switch to the other woman.
Yeah. Yeah, what does everyone think of that? That's a very strange part. Why would that be? Or what does that mean?
I think the hot weather remind Bob about the woman who known before.
Yeah, yeah, it could be the weather reminded him of this other woman. Definitely. Yeah, that's definitely one interpretation. Good. Anyone else, any interpretations of that line?
Global warming.
Yeah. I don't know what the author exactly means by that, but yeah.
Okay, I've got an idea. I think the previous phrase is he said it wasn't too late. And I think that he means that global warming didn't cause global apocalypse yet. So he's got a time to make out with another woman before that it happens.
Yeah.
Actually, it makes sense to me.
Certainly, I think that makes great sense that global warming made him realize that maybe the Earth was eventually going to end, but hadn't yet, and there's still time. So, interesting. Any other comments on that, anyone?
What's the meaning of stagnant?
Stagnant. This is a great word. That stagnant is a word usually used to describe like a swamp, a very still, muddy pond or gross water. In fact, if I type stagnant, I'll bet we'll get some gross water. Yeah, so this would be described as stagnant, thick, still, smelly. Yeah, so not pleasant. In kind of a stuck walkway almost. Good. Yeah, so was this a good night for the two? Or for... How is this night for the different characters, the two characters?
Okay, I think this night is not so bad for the man, but definitely it's not pleasant for the woman because she's gonna be heartbroken. Maybe.
Yeah, the two characters probably have a different kind of a different memory about that night. And the narrator here certainly, there's a few details that seem that it was a bad memory for her. Kind of some darker imagery like the forest burning down, not enough water or air. Yeah, great. All right, so these are only 100 words long, but they do give us some interesting things to talk about and some good vocabulary. Shall we go on to the next one? All right, let's see what the next one has for us. All right, so this one is by Ruth Corkill, a physicist. Interesting. Okay, and it's called Pasha.
Okay, sorry, but my Russian name is Pasha.
Oh!
It's like short and shortened kind of my name in Russian.
Oh.
So it's kind of funny.
Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if she knew that when she selected this name, or
Yeah.
if that'll play into this. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. Great. All right. Well, here's a story for you.
Okay.
All right. Pasha. When there is no wind, I imagine that I am at Lake Bled with Pasha. The water is so flat and still. Pasha stands naked apart from his water wings. His white thumb twitches when the cold moves through him. He flaps his arms a little. His wings might float on air. He jumps. The lake's surface starts in surprise, murmurs as grinning Pasha runs back to me. But when the ferry turns the lake with waves, I am on a dry beach. Pasha skids across the tension of my memory like an insect in the reeds and is gone.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's going to be pretty open to lots of interpretations. So was this you? Is this a story about you?
Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it wasn't me.
Okay, good. Yeah, it seems like there might be some sort of bad thing going on. Who knows? All right, so let's start. And I don't call on people in general when I do the literature-styled classes. So just everyone, please feel free to speak up. We want to hear everyone's interpretations. All right, so let's start with this question. Who are the characters in this story? How would you describe them?
Okay, I will try to make a guess. Pasha is the man, obviously, because it's the male name. And the second person may be either a male or female. We can't tell for sure, definitely. But I think this is a woman, because it's like a more realistic thing. And I've got a question. What are water wings?
Oh, yes, I forgot to ask for questions about, yes, and this is very important. Wonderful question. Water wings are the little things a child would wear that inflate to help kids swim.
Okay.
These are our water wings.
Okay, I think right away that this lake and beach is for nudists.
Okay.
Because if this is not for nudists, it's kind of strange, and definitely is not accepted to stand naked on the beach in front of other people. Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Definitely, if it happens in like in USA or something, some other civilized country. Okay. I think this man is definitely not black or other ethnicity, because his bum is white.
Oh yes.
Definitely, so he doesn't get much sun on his bottom. Maybe he's plump because according to this description, he has a lot of bottom. It's big, I think. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So how old do you think Pasha is?
I don't know. Maybe he's ordinary fast food eater, overweight person who wants to impress someone and go for swim.
Yeah,
Go
so
for
definitely.
swim.
Yeah, great, good thoughts. Anyone else? Who are the characters and how would you describe them?
Teacher, can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
What does it mean, like an insect indirect?
Like an insect in the reeds. Yes. So an insect, of course, is a six-legged bug, and the reeds would be these plants that grow in the edges of a lake or a pond. So, like an insect flying through these things. So, yeah, Pasha skids across the tension of my memory like an insect in the reeds and is gone.
Maybe he was taken by police.
Oh, yeah, he could have been taken by police. Yes, they found him. If they find him running naked through some reeds, maybe. Good. Other thoughts? Who are the characters here? Or possibly a more interesting question, or just a different question. What is the setting? We know it's at a lake or a pond, somewhere where you can swim. But how about the time? Is this all one time, or is this two times? And what time? Is this the past, distant past, present? What do you think?
Okay, according to the tense used in this text, it's present. But there was no. I like to say that tense is not present continuous. So maybe it's like talking in general.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely the simple present, that tense. Anyone else? What time is this happening?
I think it's in the past, but narrator talking about like she is living that time again right now.
Yeah.
Maybe she is dreaming or remember something.
Yeah. Definitely. She is. She's right here. She says, "I imagine that I am at Lake Bled with Pasha." So she's imagining this. It must be a memory, from the past.
Yeah. At the end, she says, Pasha's kids across the tension of my memory.
Yeah. So what does that mean about Pasha? What's going on with Pasha?
Pasha went out from his memory, her memory, maybe. Run away or so.
Yeah, like she remembers him and then he's gone. Good. So
Pasha is a children, I think. Right?
What does everybody think? He's wearing water wings.
Oh, actually, it's a very good point. Because being naked on the beach for little children is not so unusual, as I can say.
Yeah. If he's a little child, it makes the naked part normal.
Yeah, and water wings for children usually.
Yeah. So if he's a little child, who is the narrator? Who is imagining or remembering this?
Okay, it looks like it is her mother. Oh, his mother. Sorry. And maybe the boy passed away, probably, because it's like a bit sad description of a memory, which she has. So it makes sense, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think possibly he has died. Are there any other interpretations anyone has? Could be he died. Definitely the imagery sounds kind of painful. Some of the statements sound like painful or lacking joy. The water flat and still, the dry beach, insect in the reeds. Yeah, so it seems very possible that something bad has happened.
Maybe the character feels a little sad for his memory.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Sound a little sad, this story, teacher.
Yeah, I agree. It seems, especially when you get to this part, you can almost picture a mother alone on a beach remembering her son. So, yeah, definitely some sad images there, imagery. Any other comments on this one? The only other thing I would say is it's also possible that perhaps Pasha has just grown up. Could be something bad happened. Maybe he died. But it could be that the mother is there 40 years later, very old and missing her son who has moved on or something like that. Just one other interpretation. Great. Anyone else? Any last comments or questions on this one?
Okay, but not about this particular one. I think that talking about those kind of stories are really tough because they're pretty vague and direct. And after the first reading, or maybe the only reading of this, it doesn't make sense, I think, for everyone here in the class. And we kind of need to think it through and read between the lines
Yeah.
in order to get what it is about. And it is because of its shortness, it is supposed to be like that, I think.
Yes. Yes. So yeah. So we should probably read it through 2 times or even 3 times before we discuss. And since they are so short, we can do that. It only takes a minute to read. So good, really good. Thank you for the feedback in the comment. I think that's a great idea. Because they are supposed to be vague. They're kind of like little mysteries.
Okay, authors just can't explain everything in in 100 words. And they do it in this indirect way in order to get readers thinking about it.
Yes, yes, that's what I love about these short shorts.
A lot of room for thinking for ourselves. Yes.
Definitely.
It says she is like poetry and fiction. She studying about poetry and fiction. It's like a poet and fiction story mixed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, do you want to say more about that?
Oh, it's just interesting for me. It's not a long story. It's like a poet. You know, you can imagine whatever you want or what you like about the story.
Yeah.
It's a kind of poet, something like that.
I agree. I love that description of these. It is very like poetry because it's so short. The author has to carefully choose details that will tell the story, but there isn't space to explain it. So just like poetry, you have to add meaning to it. I like that. Excellent. Great.
Sorry, it's a question for you. Have you ever heard this boy's name before?
No, I never have. I have not. No.
Okay, so it's not too common.
No.
Very rare, I should say.
I've heard Sasha for male's nickname, but never Pasha, so it's new to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pasha, in Turkish we call it like king or something like that, Pasha. And if you like a children or something like that, you call it Pasha, something like that.
Oh.
Okay, I understand you. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I wonder if here in the Czech Republic, if that's a nickname for any of the names. Maybe it's kind of a Eastern Europe type thing. But yeah, thank you, Paul or Pasha, for sharing with us right away that that's a name. It definitely helped me make sense as I was reading it. So. All right, so let's do another one, and this one we will read at least 2 times before we talk about it, so we can kind of add more meaning and get more out of it. Okay. So this one, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This one looks a little bit longer almost.
More than 100 words.
Yeah, they cheated. All right, so here's our next one, and it's called Touch Me. These days, I sleep lopsided in the bed, made up with my Egyptian cotton sheets that I bought with my guy from Target. For a long time, I had no one but my son and men in short installments. My son is an adult now. This guy is tall and slim with wire glasses. He's a runner like me. He has no large intestine. When I see his scars, I can't help but wonder what it feels like. He practices Tai Chi, goes to Mass every Sunday. In the bed, he says it has been years. I try to show him what it means to touch me. I am a teacher by profession. Afterwards, he laughs. With the last guy, he'd pull me in and hug me. When he comes, he opens the garage door. I had to go away. I asked him to house sit, and when I came back, I found my home with all his things there. I think of other breakups. I imagine all my exes, opponents, yet as a team, exchanging our batons, dropping them, then bending, carrying them again until we can't stand to keep them. All right, yeah, this one is definitely a little bit confusing, so we will read it again in a moment. Before I read it again, are there specific vocabulary items we have questions on?
Okay, I don't know a few of them. The first one, lopsided. What it is? What is
That means crooked or sideways. So if you're sleeping lopsided in bed, maybe your head and feet are at the diagonals. The Leaning Tower of Pisa could be said to be lopsided there.
Okay, it makes sense. And the next word is intestine. What is it?
Yeah, intestine or intestine is your, non-intestine cancer. Your large intestine is part of your digestive system. It is, I don't know if it's on top or bottom, it's this one. So after your food goes in your stomach, it goes into the large intestine, I believe. Or maybe that's the last part. But part of your digestive system.
Okay. What else? And this word is from the last paragraph, batons.
Oh, yep. Batons, this would be like in a relay, the stick that they carry. So these. When there's a team running in a relay, they pass the baton.
Okay. Understood.
Good question. Good. Any other questions, anyone?
Yes, teacher. Target is a city.
It is a store in the United States, a store that sells everything. So everything from food to home goods. And it was actually started in my home state, in my home city, in fact. It's from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Ah, okay. I didn't know this Target.
Yeah, it's only, I've never seen it abroad. I think it's only in the United States right now. But it's like Walmart, but much better. Good question.
In short, installment.
Oh, yeah, installments are like something that happens once in a while or that comes in parts. So if you're watching maybe a TV show, it comes in installments. You get part of the story, and then on the next episode, you get another installment. So kind of short intervals of something. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. Great question. All right. Any other questions before we reread this? All right. So we're going to reread again, or we are going to read it again. And as I read, just be thinking, who are the characters? And how would you describe them? And what's the conflict or problem in the story? All right. Touch me.
Maybe is a woman that she's alone because they doesn't have a man.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. Yeah, keep going.
And then she talk about that there is one guy that he's running and maybe she's running with him.
Yeah. Good. Those are some I think pretty good ideas about the characters. So let's keep those things in mind and read it again and see if we can get a little more out of the characters. Great. So, touch me. These days I sleep lopsided in the bed, made up with my Egyptian cotton sheets that I bought with my guy from Target. For a long time, I had no one but my son, and men in short installments. My son is an adult now. This guy is tall and slim with wire glasses. He's a runner, like me. He has no large intestine. When I see his scars, I can't help but wonder what it feels like. He practices Tai Chi, goes to Mass every Sunday. In the bed, he says it has been years. I try to show him what it means to touch me. I am a teacher by profession. Afterwards, he laughs. With the last guy, he'd pull me in and hug me. When he comes, he opens the garage door. I had to go away. I asked him to house sit, and when I came back, I found my home with all his things there. I think of other breakups. I imagine all my exes, opponents, yet a team, exchanging our batons, dropping them, then bending, carrying them again until we can't stand to keep them. Okay. So what's happening between these two people, it sounds like? I'm a little confused as to what they're doing here.
Yes, and I have a similar feeling because this sentence with the last guy, he pulled me in and hugged me. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. What does it mean with the last guy? I just can't imagine what it is meant to be.
Yeah, all I can think is that it must be just an ex-boyfriend, her last boyfriend?
Or husband.
Yeah, or last husband, yeah. Anyone thoughts on that? There's the last guy and then there's this tall, slim guy. Who are they to this woman?
I think her boyfriend. And she is not good with relationships, maybe. Many people left her, and she and at the end he left her again, and she is imagining about her ex-relationships or marriage, maybe, I don't know. And after someone left her, she talked about her feelings. Maybe uh, I don't know, exchanging buttons or dropping time, carry again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What? Good. Yeah. This is like an extended metaphor that the author is using. What does the author mean by using this metaphor, do you think?
Is a situation about her relationships, maybe. She had maybe many person before that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's like uh, how to say uh, rice, or they are like runner. They give the batons each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She think like running a long distance, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Every part is with another guy, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, could be. She definitely seems to have had many exes.
Yes, yes, and I've got a feeling that she dumped them all because she says they are opponents, of course they are, but yet a team, and it means that they somehow similar. Maybe because she dumped all of them.
Could be. Yeah, could be. She sees them as opponents to each other, yet a team because she's possibly hurt them all. Good. I read this one to mean like they were her opponents almost. But yeah, they opponents of each other. Could be read either way. Here's another question that I'm not really sure of, but I think so. This is strange. When he comes, he opens the garage door. She had to go away, and she had him watching her house. And when she comes home, all of his things are there in her house.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I think I get it. It was a shit test.
It was a what?
Shit test. I think we can call it that way. So he deliberately left, and that man was in the house, and he did nothing wrong, and didn't steal anything, and proved that he's good.
Yeah. So who's having a breakup then, or what? I guess what status are these two? Is their relationship? The narrator and the tall guy, are they? What is the status of their relationship?
I'm not sure, but maybe they like going out at the moment, but he won't stay for long.
Yeah, it could be that he won't stay. He can possibly keeps leaving and coming back. Good. Anyone else? What do you think? Ali or Ahmed, Gregor, Salvatore?
I'm not sure, teacher, but
Yeah.
seem that the woman is older than the guy, probably.
Yeah, she could be older. She must be, she has an adult son, so we know she's older.
And we are not sure if he is a widow or her husband left her.
Yeah, good. So we don't know if he's a widow or what happened here.
And the funny thing about this man is that he practiced Tai Chi and at the same time he go to the mass every Sunday, because sometimes for many of the people it is quite two opposite things.
Yeah, so two kind of very different aspects of his spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
There's something about his scars, so maybe he had some dramatic dramatic events that took place in his life.
Yeah.
Yes, because he was operated on.
Oh!
Definitely.
Yeah, he doesn't, yes, certainly. So he had this huge operation, this huge medical issue and operation. And then these two kind of conflicting spiritual practices, or opposing, or opposite spiritual practices. So those are two really important details, I think.
Yeah. What about the next paragraph? In the what he says it has been years. I try to show him what it means to touch me.
Good. Yeah. What about this?
The title is Touch Me.
So the narrator clearly wants this. And for him it's been years. And as Gregory said, we don't know if he's a widow, if his wife has passed away.
Or maybe he just haven't had sexual encounters for many years.
Yeah. Yeah, could just be a long, long time. What do you think about this guy? Is he married, or is he single and just dating this narrator?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's a widow, because he engage with different things, very different things, and tries to live the life and to engage with this woman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's living life and enjoying his time with this woman, it certainly seems. I was a little confused by this second to last paragraph.
No, in this paragraph, after that, she says, I am a teacher by profession. Afterwards, he laughs with the last cry. It for me and hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah, so she shows him how to touch her, and then he laughs. And then she compares him to an ex-boyfriend of hers, right?
Okay, it occurred to me that I misunderstood this paragraph. It says, I find my home with all his things there. I just missed his things. And and it makes perfect sense to me that he just moved in with the woman, and after that she writes, I think, of other breakups. So when he did it, she broke up with him right away. And it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that could certainly be it. Oh, interesting. That's a little bit different than my interpretation, but yeah, that could certainly. So he moves in while she's out of town, and she probably maybe wasn't very happy about that.
Okay, so for the in the beginning, she thought that he's decent, but after it turned out that he's not so decent.
Yeah.
Another wrong guy in her life.
Yeah, it could be just another wrong guy, and she might get him. She may be breaking up with him at the end there. Good. Any other interpretations, anyone? I want to offer one other idea on this story with this line. And the first time I read it, I thought this was strange. I didn't understand what was happening here. And then after rereading it, I understood that, the narrator left and asked him to house sit And so while she was gone, he moved his things into her house. So thinking about that, I wonder, she just says, I think of other breakups, but we don't know whose breakup she's talking about. So I'm wondering now if it's possible that perhaps he had a wife or someone, and he left her or broke up with her. And the narrator kind of makes the metaphor comparing his breakup to all of her other breakups. I don't know.
Can be, yes, it could be, and these stories are made in this way, so everyone just makes their own decisions and
Yeah.
realizes everything else. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the cool thing about them. There's only just enough details given to really that each reader kind of fills in the blanks with different background information, and it can fit. The story can have 4 or 5 or 10 different interpretations that all fit. Good. So anyone else, any last things on this story? Other questions or interpretations?
And not about this, but all 3 stories we discussed were kind of sad, and it is strange. I think there is stories which are happy.
Yeah, it is kind of strange that out of that 3 stories, and they were all kind of darker, more sad stories. Interesting. I hadn't put that pattern together, but definitely, yeah. I noticed that they were all very character-driven. Not a lot of action happening, probably because there isn't a lot of space to have tons of action. But you kind of get a pretty full character, at least one character in each story that's pretty well developed. All right, so I'm going to stop there. Thank you all for joining in and sharing your thoughts and interpretations. This was the first time I've done this class, so please, any feedback, you can send that along in the feedback form or message. And I will do this class again in the future and just try to make it a little better as I go. So your feedback is appreciated. And I hope to see you all soon in the future.
Okay,
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye.
Ali. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.